it's the yin and yang in life, and then I'm kind of big on that. I'm trying to study that a little bit more because that's something I believe in. You know, on one hand, you're doing your job so well that you have less time with the people you love. Like, it's give and take, and like there's emotions, and it's like okay to feel sad about it, but like also be happy that I'm winning. But yeah, it's the price you pay for chasing the goals. The privilege that you get to feel stressed about something that like you've prayed to God for is like the biggest privilege, and that's kind of where I'm at in my life.
What's going on?
How are we doing, boys?
We are back here today. Another episode of the Baseline podcast, sponsored by Athletes for Israel. You know, we're very happy to bring back a guy who has been on the show before. We've heard his story. JJ Kaplan, thank you for coming on.
Big fan. Glad
Appreciate
to be back. Yeah.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir. So, you know, what we love to say, you know, the Baseline is not just a podcast. It's bigger than that. It's a community for basketball players playing all over the world. Fans, coaches, owners, agents, everyone who just loves the game and really wants to hear stories from all around the world. And we've heard a lot of your story, but we want to dive deeper into it. And thank you for coming on.
Yeah, I think what you said is a true testament of what you guys do. You guys don't fake it, and it's I think it's a pretty easy thing for you guys to do just because you guys are genuinely yourself. So we appreciate it as athletes, as I said last time, and I mean it.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
Yeah.
So, a little heavy hitter to start out.
Jump from that right into it.
Get it.
If 2021 JJ could see where your life is now, what do you think he'd be most proud of?
It's actually insane that you asked that first question because I thought about that yesterday. I think he'd say, "Where do I sign?" Like, it's hard like while you're in it because you just want more and you want more for yourself. Like I could be doing more, you know, maybe more points, more rebounds, more wins. But then I took a step back, and I think 2021 JJ would be really proud of where I'm at, and that's a really good thing to think about. And that's good for like a little bit of the time, but you got to keep moving forward, keep wanting more. But yeah, he'd be happy.
When you think about like where to sign and things like this, and are you thinking more of like, do I go to a team where I can be the main guy now because you've been playing for a few years now and you have your role and you're very good at being in your role, but part of you maybe wants more? Is that what that means?
Yeah, I think now I'm 28 now, about to be 29 at the end of the month. Yeah, I think like I feel like my role can be like interchangeable throughout any level I play at. I do the same things. I defend really well. I rebound really well. I shoot from three. I play to win. I think of quality of life. That's kind of why I wanted to come to the center. Girlfriend's moving out with me next year, so I have to think about her too. I have to think about the money, but honestly, I just want to compete at the highest level. So I think first thing is trying to get to the highest level, improving myself there, and then after that, I don't know if I really care if I'm the main guy, if I'm playing as many minutes. I want to work my way up, you know.
Where does that perspective come from? Because I think a lot of young athletes, as well as athletes just going on into the career, have kind of almost this set, I want to be that guy. You know,
Yeah.
everyone looks at the NBA and says, I want to be LeBron. You know, very few people look and say, I want to be PJ Tucker, who has 12 years being a solid role, making $100 million.
Yeah.
You know? So like,
Yeah.
where does, you know, the perspective of saying, I can translate this role anywhere and be consistent come from?
I think that's just kind of how I've always been my whole life in basketball. I've never been like the main guy on any team. I've just always kind of fought and figured it out. I think we talked last time, like I was under recruited. So I just always feel like my career has been, I have to fight and prove myself, and I've just become comfortable in it. And it's kind of stressful, but also fun to have to be the underdog. I perform better when I'm the underdog. And because I was like that growing up, it's all help in any way I can. And I'm okay with doing whatever like it takes to win in whatever role it is.
So, you know, now you said you're 28 and you've been playing professionally here in Israel for a long time.
Yeah.
You've been spending your time here building a life. When did it stop feeling temporary being here in Israel?
Talked about that too the other day. It was probably after year 2 when I would say I came back for year 3. It started feeling like Israel was home and like, all right, this is where I live. Like the States is vacation. I remember talking to Amin like my rookie year with him, and I was like, wow, I can't wait to go home. And he was like, home is where? And I was like, Alabama. And I was like, where's home for you? He's like, overseas is home for me. Like, home is vacation. Like, home, the U.S. is vacation. And I was like, no, it'll never be like that for me. And as I've played longer, it's so true. Like, when you get back to the U.S., it feels like a vacation, but here is like really where your home is and who you build your community around.
Kind of speaking onto that, like, do you feel more like an American playing in Israel, or do you feel like an Israeli basketball player now?
That's a great question. I feel like sometimes American Israelis can feel in the middle and not both. You know, I would love for it to feel like I'm an American and an Israeli, but sometimes I feel like, oh, I'm not an American like the imports are, and I'm also not an Israeli like the Israelis who were born here. That's in the sense of basketball, but I really feel like I'm an Israeli when I'm here. Like, whenever anyone asks me, oh, where are you from? I mostly just tell them like, oh, I'm from America, but I'm Israeli, you know?
And what does that mean to be Israeli for you?
Ooh, I think to fight for like this country. I know I don't serve, and I have so much respect for the people who put on the suit and like serve, but just as when I'm home, like sticking up for this country, like there's not a lot of people in this world who are on Israel's side. And so for me, like, I try and spread the knowledge as much as I can and have those tough conversations with people. And, you know, sometimes I might be wrong and I try and learn from their side, but honestly, I tell them from my perspective what it's like to be in Israel and what my experience has been like, and not really shy away from it.
You know, you said like in the last interview, you're from Alabama.
Yeah.
I remember you have a quote you said where you said there were 2 Jews in your school, you and your brother.
Yeah.
Right? And now you're out here very outspokenly saying, I'm Israeli.
Yeah.
You know, how is, like, when you look back on that journey, what does that do for you? What do you feel about that?
I think it's pretty special. Like, I always knew when I got to Israel it would be special because I knew an Israeli, and she told me, like, when you get to Israel and you're Jewish, you just feel something, right? And so I always had that in my mind, but this, like, blew that out of the water. Like, I feel it more than I thought I would. And yeah, it's really special.
So you told us that you plan on coming back next year,
Yeah.
but you're not signed.
Right.
And you still said you're going to come back here to Israel.
Yeah.
So where does that come from?
I think just it's what I'm comfortable with. It's where I see myself succeeding the most. I feel like I've made a name for myself in Israel. It's not, again, not where I want it to be. I still think I can show more, do more. I like the market of Israel. But yeah, I just have faith. Like I said, my girlfriend loves it here. I love it here. Feels like home. I love Tel Aviv, the center. I should say the center, not just Tel Aviv. I love the center. And I think it's where I'm going to be the happiest with the mix of life and basketball.
Right. And you once told us that, like, when October 7th happened, you left with a lot of the guys from the league.
Yeah.
But a part of you felt like a little guilt for not being here while
For sure.
that was going on.
For sure.
So fast forward like a few years later, we kind of have
Had that conversation.
a whole nother, like, big war with Iran.
Yeah.
What was that like for you now, having to leave once again for a very similar reason?
Sucked. And I'm not sucked like, oh, it threw a wrench in the league and it got delayed. It sucked that I had to make that decision again to, like, leave the country, because everyone that, like, I'm not gonna say I love, because there's people I love that are here, but, like, my girlfriend, my family, my friends are worried sick about me, and I just need them to know that I'm okay. And there were a lot of American Israelis that stayed, and I respect them for that. I don't think there was a wrong or right decision. I remember Israelis came up to me and said, we don't blame you for leaving. I did feel like some judged me and were like, how could you leave this country? Like, how could you leave your basketball team? And that sucked, but, you know, those aren't the people that I was really worried about. But just the whole process of driving to Jerusalem, deciding not to go to Jordan, because that's where they took some of the guys. I was like, I feel safer in Israel. I'd rather just stay here if we're gonna wait it out a couple days. Driving back to Rishon, while I'm driving back to Rishon, 2 red alerts happen. We have to, like, stop on the side of the road, hear the explosions, and then for, I don't know, 24 hours, 48 hours, having so many red alerts that, like, you're not sleeping. And then finally the league decided to drive us to Eilat, over to Egypt to Serbia, where they had that bubble. Serbia back to LA. Or, sorry, Serbia to Turkey, Turkey to LA.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
And you said you had a little bubble. You had Oded Katash train a bunch of players.
Yeah.
Guys who played in Israel this season and loved being in Israel and went to Serbia, stayed in a little bubble with maybe some hope of coming back to Israel.
Yeah.
What was that like, being with a bunch of guys, opponents, being in a bubble together, going through that?
Another great question. Weird at first. I remember I was talking to some of my teammates. They were like, heck no, I don't want to do that. That's weird to like train with the people that we play against. Like, who are these, not who are these coaches, but like, what are we even going to do with these coaches? Like, they don't know us. And first, before I get into that, I want to shout out Oded Katash and the Jerusalem staff and all the Maccabi Tel Aviv staff. It wasn't just Oded, like how much they tried to make the situation great. Like always finding silver linings, which is something I try and do in my life. And just their knowledge of basketball and the drills that they do and knowing how to like maneuver on such a short time. Like I have so much respect, so much thanks to them for that, for making it feel normal. So then going back, so thank you guys. Going back, when we did that first practice, I never saw so many guys smile since the whole incident. And it was just so cool to see a bunch of people bonding over basketball. Like, it's what we love. It's what we've done since we were kids. And for basketball to bring us close together when we don't even know each other, and then on the bus on the way back, we're all cracking jokes together. It was really special. Obviously, guys didn't want to stay there for that long, so they left. And each day it dwindled down. Like, there was less and less to, I think the last day there was me and like 4 others. But then they, closed the bubble. But it's just stories that I'm going to have to tell my grandkids. And I think that's what life is about, is just the memories,
I think that really speaks to, we've had a couple of guests come on. We had Jared Armstrong, who's coming out later on, come on and talk about how basketball is one of the biggest bridges, especially in traumatic, times, And so you kind of just spoke about that a little bit, where you said, with everything going on, to just be able to crack jokes on the bus with teammates, and not even teammates, people who you played against a week before, things like that, How important is it for you to have had basketball in that moment for such a insane and terrible time?
It was everything.
Yeah.
Everything. If we didn't have a gym there, I know dudes would have been miserable. And I don't know, it felt like AAU. And for people who are listening don't know AAU, it's when you're in high school and you're not playing with your high school team, you're playing with guys that you can like recruit from all over, and you bond with them of basketball, and it's from guys from all over, and that's how it was on that bus. Had dudes from all corners of the U.S. and they're really good dudes, like dudes from Kiritata. They didn't return, but I really got to get to know them, and all of them are great dudes.
So you talked about that journey, going like Jerusalem and all the way down to Eilat, and having these it was like nonstop rockets and booms and everything. What was it like just being in that, maybe with other teammates too?
I was the veteran of it since I had been through October 7th, and I had been in the north when Hezbollah was sending the missiles. So how things have changed in my life in just like a short amount of time, and how much I feel like I've matured and grown as like a man. So like my teammates are asking me like, well, what do we do? What is this? And it felt weird that I was the one taking the reins and like kind of telling them like, hey, calm down. And then that's, I think, when I felt the most Israeli, because Israelis were in like bunkers partying. Like you can't stop Israelis from having fun. And that's the thing I tell my mom is, this is one thing I'll learn from Israel, is like, I'm going to live my life and I'm going to go out my way, and people aren't going to be able to tell me like what I should and what I shouldn't do, like, yeah.
Was there worries coming back from people that love you?
For sure. They were like, this is different than October 7th. And I was like, you guys are right. This is different from October 7th. I think anything that Israel goes through from now on will be different from the last one. Iran is a different country, different group of people. Yeah, they were really worried. I tried, slowly letting them know I'm going back. But as they learned from last time, they're not going to tell me. They know that I know what's best in my situation because I live here and they don't, and all they have is the news. And so this time it was a little less pushback or pullback from them. They were like, okay, you made your decision. My mom was very quiet. I could tell that it really bothered her because of how many people were reaching out to me, being like praying for you, like, and your decision, just think about it, all that. But no, they knew I knew what I was doing. So
I was gonna say, like, I've had the experience as well of having to say to my parents, I'm going back to Israel during times of things like that, and you have to approach that conversation in such a thoughtful way.
Yeah.
Did you feel almost prepared to have that conversation?
For sure. Yeah. I didn't see them when I went back to the U.S. Because I went to L.A. and they were in Alabama, but I would made sure to like FaceTime them all the time and just make those small preparations of when we have that conversation. That way, it wasn't just, hey guys, been a while, I'm going back to Israel. Like, you can't do that, especially with your loved ones. So that's another thing I learned, is how to kind of build them up, if how you would say it. Yeah.
So you also mentioned that your girlfriend is coming to live here next year.
She is.
So
Yeah.
after all of these worries about you coming back, what was that conversation like, and how did eventually you end up getting her to come here?
Well, we were deciding it before the war happened, and then when the war happened, she cried for a lot of reasons, but like the main one being like, well, how does this affect our future? And I told her, I'm not sure, but I promise we'll figure it out. Like, as long as we have each other, we're gonna figure out whatever it looks like. And I think that helped her. Her mom is more worried. I had to sit down and talk with her mom and just be like, your daughter's safety is #1 priority, like, over mine. I know this isn't ideal, but like, we're gonna get through it. And I don't know if she was happy, but she was like, my daughter loves you, and like, you're the one for her, so you guys will figure it out. You guys are a great couple, whatever. So yeah, that definitely threw a wrench in it, but I mean, you can't plan in life, so we try and set everything up in case there's any problems, but at the end of the day, like, if something comes, we'll maneuver because we have each other.
So now, going back a little bit to the basketball,
Yeah.
Maccabi Rishon, a lot of players on your team, like we said before, came back after the war. A lot of the league, for everyone's own reason, didn't necessarily come back, and a lot of the teams kind of switched up, but Maccabi Rishon kind of stayed the same.
Yeah.
What's so special about this team?
I think we really like each other, like off the court, and I mean on the court, but really off the court. Like, our locker room is great. Amin's been here this is his 6th year playing in Israel, not consecutively, but 6 years, so he's Israeli.
He didn't leave.
No, he
at
didn't
all.
leave. No, he didn't leave. But that's Amin. Like, I wasn't surprised. He took a long time to leave after October 7th. I think they had to like kick him out of the country to like leave.
They put him on a flight.
Yeah, I think he also does it because he gets to like tell people like, I didn't leave, I was chilling. So he stayed. Lior Berman stayed. Josh stayed. His girlfriend's Israeli. Ben Eisenhart stayed. His wife is Israeli. Golan is Israeli. So yeah, with this team, man, we're just a lot of hungry guys trying to prove stuff. And I think I was telling them even before the war, I told them my situation during October 7th. Like, October 7th happened, I saw my chance. Not a lot of guys were returning. This was my chance to make my mark in the league. And so I was talking to the Americans back home when we were all back home, and they said, what do you think? I said, guys, it looks like the same situation when I had my year. So if you want to take that opportunity, take a chance on like your basketball career, like, do it. I'm not telling you it's gonna like be safe. I'm not telling you you're gonna be fine, but this is an opportunity. On the other side of fear is opportunity. So, and I think that's kind of, I mean, I definitely wasn't the reason they came back, but like just talking to them, keeping close, like even when we're all overseas, I'm texting people, making sure like we're still in communication, and I think that helped. We still felt like a team.
Did it make it easier, you think, for everyone to come back and also for you to come back knowing that you have this continuity in such an uncertain time? When, as you said, you can't predict anything and you can't ever have any, real security in what's going on, especially in a country like this where you just never know. But you knew you're going to have this group consistently for the rest of the season together.
Look, I think it's funny because like while we're in Serbia, I hear a bunch of the guys on the bus and in the hotel talking, I'm not coming back to Israel, screw that, like it's wraps for me, all this. In the back of my head, I'm like, okay, maybe you're right. But when you get back home and you're not doing anything and you miss that game and you still have that contract, like you're gonna wanna go back. And a lot of the guys said they weren't gonna come back to Israel, came back to Israel because 1, it's such a great country. 2, they missed the game they love. There's not really a third one, and it's really like those 2 reasons like make dudes want to come back. They miss the game that they love in such a beautiful country, you know? If Israel didn't, or the Winter League didn't handle the situation as great as they did and made it more traumatic, like I know a lot of the women's leagues, and I'm not trying to get in trouble here talking about the women's league here in Israel, but because they had to like fight for their way out of Israel by themselves, they were like, heck no, I'm not going back. Like, what happens if it like happens again? But because the Winter League handled it so well and just smoothly got us out, and as well as they could, like bombs obviously going over our head, like they can't control that, but like I felt safe and a lot of the guys felt safe after the fact and was like, wow, that was actually kind of easy. That's what made them come back and be like, all right, the league and Israel have us if something happens.
So for people who don't know, like Amin is an American, not Jewish.
At least, yeah.
Josh, Lior, Americans, didn't grow up here.
Yep.
And they stayed. And like you said, you guys have like this continuity of just like being on the same page about being here, living here, and playing basketball here. So what's like the conversation like amongst yourselves just about like being here in Israel?
Mm-hmm. I love it. Like we try and go out and do more, but sometimes you have teams where, you know, some people just like to keep to themselves, not because they don't like the guys, but they're just their homebodies, and that's fine. I feel like that's kind of what we have this year is we have a lot of homebodies, so the guys who like to go to the beach or like to, you know, hang out in the locker room a little bit longer, like we tend to do that, and I think we just keep reminding the young guys like, hey, not a lot of countries are like Israel. Like you guys are really lucky to be in a place like this, and so I think that's what it is Israel makes it really easy to enjoy your time here. And like yesterday I went to the beach with Spencer and Daniel Weiss, and Daniel Rosenbaum, Spencer Weiss, and Amin. And we just like are sitting on the beach, beautiful, and it's like this is our life. Like sometimes I said you get so caught up in working and like basketball and stressful and your stats and is your team winning, and sometimes you forget to like look up and see, hey, in 2021 JJ, like how happy would he be that you're here? You know, not to like be complacent, but just know, hey, you're making the right steps to it.
So Spencer and Daniel aren't on your team.
No.
But you go to the beach with them and hang out. What's that like, just being able to like go and hang out with friends from different teams in Israel?
Again, that's another thing about Israel that makes it such an interesting and great country. I was talking to Amin the other day, and he said the reason Israel's so cool, and I've only played in Israel, right? He's played in a lot of other countries, and my girlfriend has talked about this. Other countries are so big, the Americans are all spaced out, right? Israel has a center where it's highly or densely populated with Americans who play basketball because a lot of the teams are from the center. So to be, or even Daniel Rosenbaum, who plays in Haifa, for us to text each other and be like, hey, Thursday, which was a 24-hour notice, let's go to the beach. Daniel's done with his season. He's an hour and 10 minutes away. He's like, I'm there. Spencer's in Tel Aviv. He's like, I'm there. So to be able to see other Americans and hang out with your friends that like aren't on your team and play for other teams is so important. And that's why my girlfriend loved Israel. That's why Amin talks about how Israel's so great and how he loves it. And it's a really cool part of Israel.
You know, also being, as we talked about earlier, you know, you're American, but you're also Israeli now.
Yeah.
And so do you feel kind of uniquely positioned to have these two kind of communities within the basketball world, which are like the imports and also the players who are fully Israeli, that have kind of a foot in each and say, like, I can connect with everyone within it and I can have these experiences and these moments with these players?
I think, yeah. And that goes with the locker room too. I feel like I am a bridge for the American and the Israelis. Like as an American Israeli, I take it upon myself because I've heard a lot, like the Americans will go their way, the Israelis will go, and this is on the basketball team. Americans will go this way, Israelis will go this way. And I feel like I take it upon myself to make sure like the Americans and the Israelis are like, we're all one team. And sometimes the Israelis don't understand what Americans are going through, like to be so far away from home, to only be with a team for a year, they could be out of Israel, like, and then the Americans don't understand what the Israelis are going through, having different teammates every year who just see Israel as like a stepping stone or whatever. And so, yeah, I do view myself that way. And I try and go out more. I'm very much a homebody, so I can get caught up in just like chilling at home. But when I do, I try bringing like the Americans and the Israelis. Like I said, Amin, Spencer, Daniel, and all of them to like hang out.
But they're all Israelis now.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Spencer definitely. He's been here 15 years playing basketball for so long, and
Oh.
he didn't leave. So Daniel too, and now Israel's got to give him a passport for what he's been doing. I'm serious.
We'll see what we can do. You know?
So again, back to the basketball.
Yeah.
After coming back after this Iran war, on the court, was it like mentally challenging to come back after not playing for 2 months?
Not for me, because again, I went through October 7th, so I kind of understood what was going on, like what it would look like. And the whole time I was back home, I was in the gym every day. I was on the court with my trainer every day, spending money because like I have to pay them. So it's like, it was a weird concept because like I don't have to spend money to train stuff during the season. And so I just stayed ready and like really made sure my body was ready for what the schedule was going to look like. 2 games every week when I was used to only playing 1 every 10 days, making sure that my joints felt good, my tendons felt good, and just touching up on some stuff. I felt like it was a really good reset, actually. Like, I think I kind of needed it. I'm scared to admit this, but I was like, during the season, I kind of went through a slump. It just like felt a little weird. And I was like, wow, just God, please let me just find a way to either talk to my trainer or work with my trainer and like let me reset. And like the whole Iran situation happened. I was like, that is not what I meant. When I said,
Too far.
That is not what I meant. So no, it was a good reset. I didn't want Iran to have to happen for me to do that, but you know, just like I said, always trying to find silver linings and stuff that happens.
Right. And now with these 2 weeks, how has that been for you? Playing twice a week, where your whole career you've only been playing once every 10 days, like you said, and now playing twice a week, probably not having as many off days either. What's it like?
I love it. Love it. Like, that's why I've always wanted to play European competition. I'm kind of tired of practices. I'm a person who can't sit still. Like I say, I'm a homebody, but even when I'm at home, like, I'm learning, I'm doing research, I'm reading, like always trying to self-improve. And sometimes when you have a little too much time on your hands, your mind can go crazy. And that's where I've learned throughout my years of being a professional athlete, how to keep my mind like still. So to answer your question, love it. I want to do it more. I want to play 2 games a week for the rest of my career.
Does it make, if you lose a game or win a game, you go watch film,
Yeah.
and then it's like, all right, you go to practice the next day, you're ready, like, oh, we just lost, we have to be better. After like a week and there's still not another game, you're still trying to be better, but it's not the same from that. So now playing these 2 weeks, is it like, have you guys been more focused maybe because of that?
Kinda, I would say, yeah, you have to be more focused longer, but it's not as like focused on the same things. So like with the 1 game a week, you're more focused on improving like every day, really coming to practice, seeing what the coach like wants to change and everything like that. With the 2 games a week, you have to stay focused on, okay, I know I'm tired, I have to go to the weight room. What's the next team look like? What can we learn in the short amount of time from the last game, while also not spending too much time on that, because the next game is going to be different and have like different players and a different strategy. So same mental focus, but it just looks a little different.
Do you notice players struggling with that type of transition? Because, especially as you said, if your whole career you're going from one thing, and then because of the situation you're going to another, and you're having to shift your mindset, you're having to shift exactly what your priorities are. Do you notice players struggling with that, or do you think everyone's kind of been like, let's go, especially because of like college, AAU, things like that?
I don't know if I would say struggling. I mean, the only thing that I was definitely worried about coming back was injuries, because like you get guys who aren't used to playing like this, and maybe they took time off and then they have to like revamp back up to 100% in a short amount of time. And I think that's why the weight room is so important. But I think it's actually better for them, because like I said, you're not harping on wins and losses. Like, you got to get over it and like play the next game, and you get to right your wrongs in such a short amount of time, where like you kind of get out of the rhythm. Like, where my slump was during the FIBA break and the cup games when we played 1 every 2 weeks, and it was like, oh my gosh, I can't catch a rhythm, like this is brutal. But now it's like, okay, I'm like in a rhythm, I know what games are going to look like. Yeah, so no, I don't think they're struggling in that sense. I think like I said, there's guys who are struggling, it looks different than maybe what people would think.
So we talked about this before, like last year was kind of like a breakout year for you.
Yeah.
And then now coming to Reshow and having maybe we could say like a bigger role than you've ever had before.
Yeah.
What's that been like for you on the court?
Yeah, the dynamics has changed. Like, last year I averaged more points, but there was less Americans, so my role was bigger. Where now I'm on a winning team, I have 5 Americans with me, 3 of them are ball handlers, combo guards, so it's like, okay, I might not be scoring as much, but what can I do to affect the game in the same way? And like my valuation is still the same as last year. So it's like, okay, I got to rebound more. I got to defend more. I got to give my all. I have a deeper bench. I have guys who can sub me in and out. Where like in Kiritata, I was playing like 30 something minutes. I had to like really extend myself to play longer. Where here in Rishon, have more players, more Americans. So I think I struggled with it at first because I wasn't getting as many shots. But then like I had to be like, all right, but we're winning. So let me figure out ways that I can impact the game.
And you said that you kind of become like a veteran now.
Yeah.
So what's that been like, just being a vet on the team?
Yeah, we started with a young team. It's gotten a little older like as the season has gone on, but I don't know, like Amin is Unk, as like the kids would say. Like he's really the vet, and I think he's so important. Like it's hard for me to call myself a vet on this team. I was mostly talking about October, like when Iran stuff happened. But with this team, we have like Amin and Ben Eisenhart, and then like me or Golan, and those guys I think are like the vets, and then I just kind of like try and help them with like, yeah, like what he's saying is true, like all that. But Amin makes it easy because he's like a really good leader in the sense like he just goes by example, doesn't really say a lot.
Do you still find yourself at this stage of your career learning from these players every day?
Yes, I think smart people learn from their mistakes. Wise people learn from other people's mistakes. And so I try and learn from other people's mistakes or like for what they do good. Like I remember a coach told me in college, he said that he learned more from coaches he hated than coaches he liked because it taught him like what not to do. And then the coaches that he liked, he could obviously. So to answer your question, I do look at the players I like in the locker room and like what they do well. And then I look at, oh, okay, he handles that in a way. Maybe I'll like stay away from that. Oh, I do that as well. Like I'll stop doing it.
And you talked about off the court growing so much as a man, being here for so long. What do you think, where do you think have you grown on the court, like basketball wise?
I probably would say now not getting so worked up on missed shots. Like it used to like really suck when I would miss shots because I didn't get a lot of them and I pride myself on efficiency. And now it's to the point where it's like, I'm not perfect. Life's not perfect. Basketball's not perfect. Everyone misses shots. Like I put in so much work. Why should I not keep taking shots when I miss? I miss in these workouts and I still take shots after them. So I think that's the one thing I'm more proud of myself is just keeping my confidence and knowing like missing's part of the game, turnovers are part of the game. Doesn't matter that it happens, it just matters about how you react to it. So.
Do you think one of the reasons it took you kind of a while to get to that growth point was it because you were under-recruited, because you kind of played in all these situations, so like, you couldn't miss those shots, you couldn't take those turnovers because you would be,
absolutely.
So do you think now you're kind of like gotten 100%. That point?
And Dad, I'm sorry for this, but I also think like, my dad didn't like Kobe. Like he was a Steve Nash, pass first, get others involved, and like loved it. Like, and I love that he loved that. But I think I myself might have taken that a little too far to where my dad was like, he just misses and he keeps shooting. And now that I've made it, and maybe I misinterpreted him, but now that I've made it to like a higher level, I get what Kobe was doing and what maybe my dad was missing or maybe what I misinterpreted from him. But then like growing up, whenever I missed a shot, I'd be like, okay, I'm done shooting because I missed. It's like, no, like keep going. If you're open, shoot it. Like that's what you put the work in for. That's like why you're on the court. Let the coach decide if he wants you to keep shooting or not. If you're out there, it means shoot the ball when you're open. So yeah, I think that and that, what you said is definitely has something to do with it.
Can you talk about a little bit like preparing and what preparation means to you?
For?
Just in life, for anything, whether it's basketball and getting your shots up, getting in the gym, or if it's preparing before a meeting or anything like that.
Now, not a lot of people. People tell me like I think too much or like I work out too much or I shoot too much, and it's like that. I mean, that might be true, but for me, my confidence comes from the work that I put in, and that's how it's always been. And I can't run from that, and that's who I am. So I think preparation for me is everything. Like I feel anxious if I'm not well prepared. I felt that way with tests. I felt that way with scouting reports. I felt that way with games. And I felt that way with like some coaches where if there's a coach and I don't feel well prepared, it might work for other players where they don't want a lot of stuff. They just want to go out there and hoop. Like for me, I feel anxious during games because I'm like, we're not ready. Like, I'm not ready. Like, we don't know what's going on. But the coaches who like make me feel well prepared, I feel confident and I feel less anxious. So to sum all that up, preparation to me feels more confident, less anxious, less stressed.
How has that developed from the time that you were playing back in Alabama to now playing as a multi-year pro in one of the top leagues in the world? How is that kind of preparation and wanting to feel more prepared and lessening that anxiety? How has that developed? How is your, almost routine to get to that point?
I think when I was younger, I didn't understand my emotions and my feelings. It's like a kid, like they don't understand what's going on, but they know that they have these like big feelings. And as I've grown older and developed, I now know what to put a tag on like those emotions. Like, oh, I'm feeling this. Okay, that's anxiety. Like I know how to fix it. So like, again, I'm still learning my emotions. Like I'm not fixed all the way, but I think self-development, like books, self-help books are good, but at the same time, like not getting so wrapped up in yourself, getting lost in some fantasy books. And Ben Eisenhart on our team has like definitely helped me with that. He's given me some fiction books and like get outside myself. So I think it's a combination of that and then also self-help. So like trying to fix that. I've been journaling a lot and that's really been helping. Just there's a lot of thoughts in my brain and when I write it down and just word vomit on a page, I see like, all right, this isn't so bad. It's like out of my mind.
So now if you guys take it like a little far in the playoffs, even if you go, all the way,
Yeah.
it would go until late June.
Yeah.
This is like the latest you'd be going home.
Kinda. Kiritata, when October 7th happened, we made it to the semis, and I wasn't home until like June 15th.
Wow.
So my girlfriend knows about that. She has mixed feelings about that because my birthday is May 28th, hers is May 29th. And it's really cool that we have birthdays that are so close together, but it's really bad when this happens when I'm not available to like be there for that. So
the first time, you already had it before where you're going back in June.
Yeah.
But most times you go back in May, early May.
mid-May, yeah.
So what's different about that and then also having just a little bit less time to be in America?
Wow, it's the yin and yang in life, and then I'm kind of big on that. I'm trying to study that a little bit more because that's something I believe in. On one hand, you're doing your job so well that you have less time with the people you love. Like, it's give and take, and like I'm supposed to be the best man of my best friend's wedding, May 23rd, and I thought I was going to be able to do it, and now with like everything happening, I'm missing that. Okay, fine. June 6th, I have another wedding that's like with the same group of guys. I'll be able to make that. Nope, we're winning playoffs. All right, I'm missing that. So, there's emotions and it's like okay to feel sad about it, but like also be happy that I'm winning. But yeah, it's the price you pay for chasing the goals. Matthew McConaughey, someone said on a podcast, the privilege that you get to feel stressed about something that like you've prayed to God for is like the biggest privilege, and that's kind of where I'm at in my life.
Is there ever kind of a moment now with, in your career where you're saying, I don't want to miss these things. I mean, obviously you don't want, but you're saying like, it's not worth it to me. Or is it always kind of in this point where you're saying, you know what, as you said, I feel privileged to be the fact that the reason I have to make these sacrifices is for this dream I've been chasing?
Oh, it definitely begs the question. And every time I find out that I missed it, I get really sad. And I'm like, is it worth it? And every time I have that conversation with myself, and it's always, yeah. I mean, I'm still playing and I still will play, but I get to feel bad for like missing my best friend's wedding and not being there for him. And it sucks 'cause I've missed a lot of my friends' weddings. I wish they would do it in the summer, but at the same time, like I get that Alabama summer weddings are not ideal because of how hot it is. So no, it's always worth it.
I think it also shows a testament though just to the community that's around you, that you're chasing this dream and you're missing out on things, stuff like that, but you still have this community with you and they're all pushing you to chase that dream as well.
100%.
And that's like a beautiful thing that you built.
And that is why I know that I'm winning in life, because I remember I read a book by a rabbi, and he said, good things don't happen to good people just because they're good. Bad things don't happen to bad people just because they're bad. But what happens is bad things will always happen to good people, and you can't control that. But when you know you're like a good person is who uplifts you in the community that's around you. And I feel like with me, I just have such a good, loving, supporting cast around me. Like I can't lose. Like No matter what I do, no matter what bad things happen, like I always have them, and they're always in my head, and they're always checking on me. And yeah, that's where I feel the most blessed.
That's beautiful.
And this cast around you, these friends, how do they feel about you being here in Israel?
With everything going on, they know. I mean, they know I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, even when I was in college, and so they just are there to support me. Honestly, like they care about me, and they always ask like, "How is it? You know, are you safe?" Keep checking on me. And again, like, is it stressful and is it like annoying? Yes, but at the end of the day, like I have people who care about me so much that they're texting me to where I feel almost annoyed. Like it's awesome. So
What do you look forward to now going back home in the summer after doing this for the 7th time now?
yeah, just being with everyone. Summers are just, sometimes I think like, do I play basketball just to enjoy my summers? Like, just like to train basketball, no stress, because it's fun. Like when you hone in on a skill and you see yourself getting 1% better like every day, it's fun to me. And then also having the rest of the day off to recover and seeing like my friends who are so happy to see me because they don't see me often. And I think that's what's special is in the beginning of my career, I was like, oh, I'm missing this. Like, look, everyone's hanging out. And as I've gone through the years and like seen what their lives look like, it's like they don't hang out every day. Like they only hang out every day because I'm there, and I'm there like 1-2 months of the year. And so everyone like, I mean, this is gonna sound bad, but like clears their schedule because it's like, oh, JJ's in town, like let's all hang out. And that's what's special. You know, like if you get to drink soda and eat junk food every single day, like that's not special. But if you have a cheat day once every 3 months, it's like that becomes more special, you know?
So in the off season, you know, JJ Redick talked about this. Like he didn't retire because of another NBA season.
Yeah.
He retired because he didn't want to do another off
Yeah.
season. Because off season is where the real grind happens. What do off seasons look like for you in a training aspect?
I would say it's definitely a grind, but I think with the overseas life, the overseas season takes way more out of me than the off season. But my off season is I take 2 weeks off, don't touch anything. Like I'll do some plyometrics, or not plyometrics, sorry, just like strengthening and yoga, just body weight. And then I get like right back to it because I heard like the older you get, you can't take as long of a time off or else it's harder to get back. And it's definitely a grind, but I try and like surround myself with people who are like better than me. So like I'll try and train with NBA guys. Like I know you've seen the pictures, or like in the weight room, because it's like, okay, they're doing something, they gotta be doing something, right? And it just makes it easier when you have a community that like pushes you. And I don't know, we'll see what this summer looks like because I'm gonna be like traveling a lot for weddings, and I'm gonna be like back home, and I'm gonna be able to like train with my friends and my old coaches, so I'm excited about that.
So you talked about like yoga and recovering
Yeah.
and not taking too much time, but in general, to be a professional athlete, your diet means a lot.
Yeah.
So what does the diet mean for you?
Everything. Khalil, old teammate, shout out Khalil, made fun of me, and his girlfriend makes fun of me for how like healthy I eat, but it's not because it's like, oh, I gotta eat healthy so I'm, you know, this much better, 1% better. Maybe, but for me, I feel like crap if I'm not well hydrated, if I've been eating, you know, junk food and sweets. Don't get me wrong, like I'll still eat chocolate, but like that's really the only thing that's like consistently like chocolate. And maybe I'm lucky that that makes me feel bad because then like I won't eat it. But yeah, diet for me is everything.
So let's take a quick pause. We're gonna go over to our myth or fact section.
Oh, okay.
New segment.
New segment, it's a new thing. New
Am I
thing.
No,
okay.
no,
so
the
last
first
time.
one.
All right,
We
good,
did from
good,
last
good.
time. Yeah.
Okay. Myth or fact? Wait,
Yeah.
did you guys dig into some things?
We didn't.
Okay.
No,
Continue.
it's more like we'll say myth or fact, and then you can elaborate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So myth or fact, playing in Israel is way more physical than college basketball.
Fact. I would, yeah, just like you're playing against grown men. Like at the end of the day, these dudes are 28, 30, 32, where in college you were playing against 18 to 21-year-olds. I would say like you lift a lot more in college and in that sense, but if we're talking like straight physicality, yeah, overseas.
All right, myth or fact, Israeli fans connect differently with Jewish players from abroad.
Differently. Yeah, I'd say it's a fact. Differently doesn't mean
Better.
Yeah, better doesn't mean worse. Yeah, I would say differently.
What is that difference?
I don't really know. I feel like, well, so Kiritata's fan base was great. They had a bunch of kids, a bunch of families, but Rishon's is like a different beast, right? Like Rishon's fans are one of my favorites. They're crazy. But we have a bunch of American Israelis, so I'm not really sure. I might be the wrong guy to ask. I feel like they might be a little happier to like ask about our life and like where we came from and where we're from and like speak English to us. A lot of Israelis want to speak English even though they might not know it at all, which I think is a great part of Israel. But
So, myth or fact? Living in Israel strengthened your Jewish identity.
fact. In a different way. I thought it was going to be I was going to be going to the synagogue more and like reading, but I felt a little disconnect when it was in all Hebrew and like not English and stuff, and maybe that's on me for not learning Hebrew. But I will say it strengthened it because I know more about the holidays. It forces me to like really celebrate. I mean, I already celebrated like Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, but like you celebrate more about Sukkot and like oh my gosh, I can't believe
Pesach?
I forgot it. No, yeah, that. But what's the one coming up with the dairy?
Shavuot.
Yeah,
Shavuot, yeah.
that I'm gonna have, and I don't. Dairy messes with my stomach, but I'm gonna be about it, and I'm gonna do it. But that's where I say it would strengthen my Jewish identity.
Myth or fact? It's mentally harder being a role player overseas than in college.
Fact for me, because in college, nowadays probably not because of NIL, but in college you knew like trust the system. These coaches want me for 4 years, 5 years. Overseas, like they have you for 1 year, and if you don't like produce, it's such a weird dynamic of like making sure you eat, but like also making sure you win because nobody wants like a losing team, and so yeah, that's a fact.
Myth or fact? Growing up Jewish in Alabama made you different from most kids around you.
Yeah, I don't, I don't know how that would be a myth. Like, yeah, absolutely, very different. Just like I hear a bunch about these kids going to like Jewish schools and like being around Jewish friends and going to like Jewish camps, and like I didn't have that, and I don't know, I'm a very curious person, so I don't think it was that hard for me to come here and like accept like all the different parts of Judaism. But yeah, I definitely can tell I'm a little different from the guys who grew up in a Jewish community.
What was it like growing up Jewish in that Alabama community?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. Feeling lonely at times, like in middle school. But I think I came out fine. I think I had a good mindset. I think my parents did a really great job, like keeping those bumpers to me and making sure like I'm okay, but not like coming in to save me, like when, maybe they heard of kids bullying or something. So really shout out to my parents for that. That's kind of how I want to raise my kids, is like, let them fail, let them go through those hardships, because then, they'll grow up with a stronger character.
As you're getting a strong connection towards Judaism, towards Israel, towards all those things, as you said, it's you and your brother in Alabama, in terms of your community for the Jews. So every time you go back now, you have a stronger relationship with Judaism. How do you see the people, the community around you, adapting to that and seeing that? Do you see any kind of bleed over of them noticing it? Do you think does it come up more?
No, because I moved to LA with my girlfriend, and there's not a big Jewish community there, so I guess I just attract to something in the U.S. where we don't have like a lot of Jews for some reason. But
you like to be the minority in that.
Yeah, but yeah, especially after being here where I'm the majority. But I think when I'm older, and I start having kids and I want to raise them in like a Jewish community, and maybe people find out that I played basketball in Israel, I think that's when it'll have that bleed over. But right now, no, I'm just 10 months of the year in Israel, and yeah.
So a little deeper one, myth or fact? Leaving Israel during the war changed your relationship with the country forever.
Did you say leaving during? Yeah. Myth. I would like to think it's a myth. I don't know for sure, but what I believe, yeah, myth. I think I need to do it to, for other reasons. If Kennedy was out here with me, I probably would have stayed. Who knows? Maybe brought her. If her mom's watching, I definitely would have taken her to the US to see it. But I don't know. No, I don't think so. Myth.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll do another myth
One
right
more.
here. The last one. Myth or fact? Feeling accepted off the court changes how you play on the court.
Wow.
Fact. Again, whether it's for good or bad, it's definitely a fact. And I've never been the player who can flip that switch and be someone different. Yeah, I can be more aggressive, but it's really hard for me, and I'm trying to learn from other players like how to just say like, screw you guys, like I'm playing my game, and it's coming along like as I get older, but definitely.
So moving back to a little bit more basketball, you know, in Kira Alta, we talked about this before. You played with Ben Saraf, and we talked about it at the beginning of the season. Now seeing him after a full year in the NBA, you know, I think he had a few posters. He had a few pretty nice games.
Definitely did.
What's it like seeing an old teammate of yours flourishing in the NBA?
All love for him. I'm so happy for him. During the war, I actually got to see him play against the Lakers, and an old teammate of mine, Chaney Thompson, who started at D2 with me, transferred to Auburn, and now is playing in the NBA. Just like to see both of them play on the same team on the same court and like have that relationship with them is awesome. But Ben is just such a hard worker. I don't really have a doubt that he'll figure it out in the NBA. He just needs his opportunity.
You know,
take it.
With Ben, Danny Wolf, Danny Avdia, you have Noam Yaakov, you have all Yamadar drafts about the Celtics. You have all these things. You know, do you think Israeli basketball is entering a whole new era talent-wise, and if so, why?
Yeah, I don't know how you could say it's not. You have so many people in the NBA at these like high levels, and it's really, really, really cool to see. And I still think Israel can still improve on their development of their players, you know, which just shows like, okay, Israel is a four-cylinder or an 8-cylinder car hitting only on like 4 cylinders right now, and they have like a lot of growing to do.
What do you hope that people will remember about your journey when it's all over?
He never quit. You couldn't, I don't know if I can say this now with the war, but like you just couldn't kill him. Like he just wasn't ever gonna stop. Yeah, he was, and he wanted it at every game. Like I talked about, like I want when people see me, they're like, he really cares about the game and he'll do whatever it takes, and he'll leave blood, sweat, and tears on the court and everything he had, and he was just a beast. And so hopefully that's what people think, and hopefully that's what people talk about. But at the end of the day, what people think of me is none of my business. So
if you could look at someone who might be looking at your position right now, especially with everything that's gone on in the past, 6 months, year, that, and you look at them and they say, let me figure out what I want to do. What's some advice you might have for them with your experiences?
It's a good question. I don't know. I would say like don't give up. Like everyone's journey is so different. I know some guys who their first year overseas they make it, and then they start making a lot of money, and it was easier from the outside looking in. And then I've also seen guys who have really made it like 5 years and they're not getting any action, making no money, and then that 6th year they like blow up. And so I just think like don't compare yourself. I think comparison is a thief of all joy, and I know a lot of people say that, but it's so true. Like you don't really know what anyone's going through. People don't know what I'm going through. Like what I put on Instagram is, I even admit, is a highlight reel. Like you guys, that's not my true self. Like what's really going on. And so just keep going, and don't compare yourself to someone else's opportunity. You don't know who's helping them. So
what do you think that younger JJ would say about you now, just seeing how you've built this life over here?
I think he would be ecstatic. I think he would be so happy for me, like for himself, and just I was so curious as a kid. I know he would want to sit down with me and be like, how did we do it? Like what happened? Like what do I need to do now? And I know he would like want to do like a show and tell or like something like that. But yeah, if you told him like this is what your life's gonna look like, he would sign like right now. So I try and keep that in perspective.
So then what's a goal you have for the coming, whether it's a year or 2 years? What's a goal that's something that you're trying to reach coming up?
I would say like try and make advancements in like my basketball career, whether that's like signing for a bigger team, getting a bigger role with Rishon. Like I don't really have like goals in that sense yet. I'm trying to like finish the season, but make steps in like my relationship with Kennedy, my relationship in God, and my relationship like with myself. And I think if I do that, basketball will work itself out. Just take it day by day, brick by brick. That's how the Great Wall of China was built. So
still there too.
Yeah.
So onto your most favorite part of the pod. run the shot clock.
Different questions this time too.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Whole new questions
So
and everything.
not favorite food, because I was
No,
thinking
no,
sushi
no.
this whole time here. Sushi is your
my
favorite food, dude. Come on.
That's funny.
3, 2, 1, Go.
Toughest player you've guarded in Israel.
Antonio Blakeney.
Hardest arena to play in.
Bet Maccabi.
Best passer you've played with.
Myself.
Most underrated player in the Israeli league.
Aaron Goldman.
One teammate you go to war with.
Amin Stevens.
Favorite warm-up song.
Set It Off, Lil Boozy.
Who talks the most trash?
DJ Burns.
Biggest culture shock when you moved here.
Pass.
Favorite Israeli food.
Pass.
Favorite food.
Sushi.
There you go.
What a closing. Love it.
Let's
Love
go.
it.
Yes, sir.
Love it.
Appreciate you coming on, man.
So JJ Kaplan, the Baseline podcast brought to you by Athletes for Israel. We really appreciate you coming on and telling us your story once again. And yeah, that's a wrap.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you again. Seriously, can't thank you guys enough for everything. I love to see you guys like stepping it up in everything as well. Like from like where you started 4 years ago. What is this, season 4 of Baseline?
Something like that, yeah.
To now. Bravo, guys.
Thank you, man.
Bravo.
Appreciate
Yes,
it.
Thank you, guys.